Well, thanks very much for the opportunity to tell you about Galan. Galan, probably last year, not many people knew about it. And we have our lithium discovery that was quite interesting to tell you and show you where we're at. And I got off the plane last week. I spent 5 weeks in Argentina, 3 weeks with the rig with my crew. All exciting times. This time it's not for free. It's been 4,000 meters, but it's something that is quite new, and we are rewriting the geology books. Excuse me. And well, the usual disclaimer. And where we are in the lithium triangle. We are in the most active part of the world for lithium and lithium brines, actually. So if you're familiar with Albemarle, SQM, Livent, which was the old FMC, we are right in the guts of the lithium triangle. And most importantly, we are in Argentina. We are at the Hombre Muerto salt flat. And in Argentina, Hombre Muerto is being producing lithium carbonate since 1992. So where we are right next door from an operating known lithium brine producer. Lithium brines behaves a bit more like petroleum, and what's important about lithium brines, if you're not familiar with it, is the chemistry. The chemistry of Hombre Muerto is exceptional. It has one of the lowest levels of impurities and lowest level of any nastiness that you will look at for processing lithium. So, and that combined with high grade, it produces a really interesting operating cost that it sets the production into the first quartile. But more to the lithium triangle, our neighbors are Livent, Galaxy Resources, and lately you have here of POSCO. There was a POSCO transaction that I'll show you in the map in a few minutes, which is something that you need to keep an eye on, because that for us is a benchmark. That's just an important transaction, and we believe that on the track to potentially show you something very similar. So in terms of how lithium carbonate works, in simple words, higher capex than spodumene, but once you're in, the OPEX for producing lithium carbonate, they are lower. So what it means, once you sunk your investment, you're there for life. And you can see that with the operations in Chile, not only for SQM, Albemarle, and FMC, so which is live in now. So the fact that we've been having our producing assets since 1992, that shows the longevity of these operations. And if you look at Hombre Muerto, Livent has got more than 100 years life production at the current rate, and potentially even more. It's a massive salt flat, and I'll show you in a picture how big this place is. But what the interesting thing going forward for us is we're ticking boxes, and we're ticking boxes of high grade, low impurities, best place in Argentina for potential lithium production. And if we can replicate those things, we could have a potential world-class asset and producing asset down the track. Early days, today we are market around $40 million, but it doesn't say that we cannot keep going up. The story is not to tell you that last year we were $8 million and today are 40. The story is to tell you that this is something bigger and it's growing, and we are de-risking this step by step. So a bit more about lithium and the market just before I go into where we are. The lithium price you hear that it's been going down lately, and it has. But the key thing for us is that in here, this is the Argentine production. This is FMC. If we are going to be a producer, that's where we're going to be. So then you got the spodumene producers, then you got the Chinese brine producers, and then you got the spodumene high cost. So this is Chile, and Chile's been gifted by high grade, hence the low operating cost. So if this works, we will be in the lowest quartile of the lithium industry, and that's something very important to have as a setting for what Galan could be going forward. So a bit more about our company. We have 111 million shares on issue. We are pretty tightly held. Directors and management has got around 31% of the company, so we're not selling, we're holding. We got good news to tell you. And this company, we setting this up for the big success we can have. So a bit of a history on our share price. As I mentioned, this is not about how we went from 8 cents to 36, 38 cents, where we're wobbling at this stage. It's about where we're going to go forward. Bit about us, the board. Some of them you're familiar with the board. Some of them are present here, and please, come to visit us at our booth at any time. We're happy to tell you more about Galan and who we are and our background. Now, where we are, this is where the action is happening. So, to the southwest, that's our main flagship project, which is called Candelas. Livent, which is FMC, and the plant is there, so that's producing lithium carbonate since 1992. A bit of a history reference. The lithium carbonate, so the lithium battery revolution started in the 90s when you saw all these Sony handycams, and then all of a sudden you saw lithium batteries on your handycam that could last longer than all the normal batteries. The lithium that came to those batteries, it was produced from Argentina. So it's not coincidence that the lithium revolution that you've seen today for the electric car is still powered by some of the same producers, and Livent is one of them. Galaxy, this is our neighbor to the north, and then the POSCO transaction here, which is around 380 million Aussie. It's the transaction that happened last year, and it's just about to be finalized. And from our point of view and what I've seen, it's almost a done deal. So it's just a formality of getting the paperwork and then to Galaxy to access those funds. But more interesting is Candela. The size of Candelas is 15 kilometers long. So this means, just in a local context, it's like driving from here to Perth CBD. So that's how big Candelas is in the map. Looks small compared to our peers, yes, but Candela is still not small. If you're driving a four-wheel drive, 15 kilometers takes quite a while. And the magnitude of the basin where we are is significant. If you stand in a flat point, look 3 kilometers to the left and 3 kilometers to the right, that's as wide as Candelas get. So it's a big basin. So the potential for Candelas to host a large amount of lithium is significant. So what have we done so far? Well, a brief story. Last year we did some sampling, and they were positive, surface sampling, they were positive. We took Quantec to do geophysics, and within the geophysics we were looking for conductivity. So we were looking for areas that can lead up that is showing brines. So the areas that you see in the darker purple or bluish, those are high conductive areas. So we knew that there will not be any other type of rock other than a rock saturated with brines. The conductivity and the specific weight of the basin was showing clearly that we have brines. Geophysics, sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. But we went and asked for our permits, and we got the permits within 5 months, which is, by the way, the Catamarca government has been really pro-investment. So when you ask about Argentina, and I can say, yes, Argentina as a country has ups and downs, but the Catamarca government, the local province government, has been really proactive about attracting investment and granting permits to go and drill. So within 5 months, we got the permits. We went and drilled. This is a continuation of our geophysics. The geophysics pretty much is telling us something very important. We have a horizon of 400 to 600 meters of depth in some areas, and potentially all saturated with brines. Too good to be true? Yes. You're not going to know until you drill it. So we went and drilled. So interesting enough, when we got there, we saw that right next to us there was another rig. And whose rig was? Galaxy's. So This is our drill hole. Galaxy is from there. It's 1 kilometer away. It's right next door from us. And that got us thinking, why are they there? Well, we drill it and we got the answer. We have now a lithium discovery. We drilled 400 meters. From meter 235 to 401, we have found brines. And it's been very exciting for us, even though brine doesn't taste good, but it tastes really sweet. The first time I tasted that brine, I was really happy just to, prove up that we have what we're looking for. And also, it's have high conductivity, high specific grade, it's got all the goodies that you want in a brine, and also it's got the grade. So with the results that we have, there's nothing to say that the setting that we're exploring will be different to what is already at Hombre Muerto. Was a combination, low impurities, high grade, and it's there, and it's big. So Candelas itself is an area that gives us a bit of a surprise when we drill it. We were expecting sediments at the top, and then we find ignimbrites, a thick layer of ignimbrites around 150 meters. Initially, we were a bit worried about it, but further thinking, we realized that ignimbrite is a gift. Why is it a gift? It's a gift because it's a cap that has confined the brines underneath, and that confinement means that within the cycle of brines concentration, we're getting the best part of brines. Great and low impurities again. The results that we've been seeing, they are similar to Galaxy, but I will dare to say some of them are a little bit better. So with all that said, it gets really exciting for the next drill hole. So we finished drill hole number 1. We're going to move to the south. We're going to go a bit ballsy in hole number 2. We just want to now prove continuity. If we prove continuity, you do the math. The length, by the width, by the depth, by the grade, by the specific weight, and by the porosity, specific yield. So if you do those math, chuck it in there, you can get your own conclusions about how big this could be. And this is what gets us very excited. So to the numbers. Our first discovery last week, we announced that we had an intersection of 65 meters at 862 milligrams per liter of lithium. It's not ppm. People at the lab, they get really upset when they start talking about ppm because this is liquid. So the most important things now to remember when graphs and when you look at lithium brine is a level of impurities. We'll get a very low ratio of lithium to magnesium. And the impurities are important to be low because they affect your recovery and increase your operating costs. So we have, so far, what we've seen is a reflection of that combination that gives us a really good potential world-class discovery in what we have. We have the grade. Now we need to put the 2 dots at Candelas. Once we got that, we could say that we got something really meaty and potentially pretty big. So when I look now a bit more what Galaxy has released, this is the data from the NR43101. Galaxy has got similar grades, similar sections, and they're not any bigger of what we already have. And they already have a resource of around 4 million tons. So, and again, I encourage you, please come and see me. I'm happy to explain how resources are estimated. If this works, it's not going to be small. And the sections that we're finding, the interesting thing is that as we go deeper, we find the brines, the basement is broken, it's fractured, and the brines are flowing from there. So it's a combination of a lot of things, and I cannot reiterate how excited I am and how important this is. We got other projects within Hombre Muerto, which is to the west of Hombre Muerto. They are quite small, but if you add them up, this could be significant and could be way bigger than some of the other peers that are out there. So high grade, low impurities in a producing area. So we're going to be exploring this down the track. And the impurities graph, and please keep an eye on this. This graph is showing us where we are, and I'm pointing this. You know, we have this online. Please get a copy of this and see where this ratio of concentration of lithium to magnesium and sulfide to lithium is, and this is the key makeup of brines. Look where we could be. So this is, you know, something that we not only have the right chemistry, we have the right size. So more to Argentina, you know, the country is very open to foreign investment. Catamarca is very strong to the foreign investment as well, and they've been really expediting everything that we're doing. The local community is very supportive. We hire local people. Catamarca is there, and yeah, if you got any questions about Argentina, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. So, in a summary, we have a lithium discovery, world-class location, best possible place in Argentina. We're advancing very fast. I'm committing more than 50% of my time to be in Argentina with the team in situ to make this work. So it's been an exciting 12 months, and I really want to show something more in the next 12 months with a view of having a joke within the third quarter of this year. So if all goes well, fingers crossed, you hear from more news from us, and it's all, yeah, very exciting. So thank you.